As we all know, Grohk is insane. Or at least to a point. We can going based off the character information contained within Grover's and Inara's information, because as they both state, Grover was sleeping for decades since the Goblin Scourge, and Inara was sleeping for generations. Generations being 25 years apiece. And given that they're both in plural, we can assume, based off Grover's being decades, that it's been at least 50 years. And while these two have slept, Grohk has not. And Grohk is saying that his tribe was nearly wiped out by goblins. But what if that is just a happy memory to keep himself from going truly insane, more than he already is, as the Goblin Scourge may have very well wiped out his entire clan, leaving him the sole survivor.
The battle is about to begin.
It says he was struck by lightning multiple times, which usually kills people, but in his case may have just simply disrupted the electrical impulses in his brain, allowing him to create a fantasy world for himself where his people are still alive and he's chieftain.
3, 2, 1.
Because that would be a much better memory than having your entire tribe wiped out by by creatures the size of his foot. Well, the size of his, up to his ankle anyway. Grohk may very well, so if we assume based off that the reason for his insanity is not because he's just insane, just for the fun of it, it's because his entire tribe was wiped out and there was nothing he could do about it.
Double kill. Killing spree.
And it is safe to assume that Grohk is insane, especially when buying him things from the in-game store for battle. Is it a hat? Well, wear it like a hat, and stuff like that. Knowing that you would have failed your entire tribe could have very well led him to his insanity. And it may be why he hasn't picked a side yet, for either the magistrate or the paladins, because both failed him in his time of need. When he needed them most, they weren't there. And because of it, everyone he's cared about is gone. Of course, I came during the time of Talus, so I don't know what his original character information was. So I'm simply basing it off what I know now. And for those of you who have watched my other video, you're probably wondering why I didn't play with Grohk, since I played with Moji that time. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of... I do like Grohk, he was my main when I first started out. But I much more enjoy Grover instead. One can only wonder how the Red Orc tribe was wiped out by goblins, seeing as they're only a foot tall or so, and they communicate through pictures, not words. Also, I can actually prove it thanks to this map that I randomly got. Here they have a picture of a goblin being squished by an elevator. And this one painting it, telling him to be careful. Picture of elevator. And then this, indicating that this is a bar room. Clearly Ruckus is the only one intelligent enough to truly be able to communicate, seeing as the others get by on pictures. And Ruckus being described as a wily I forgot what the rest of it said, but it's implying that he's not like the others. And seeing as he didn't have the weapon capability until after he added a War Golem mine to his mining suit, that would indicate that the goblins don't actually have these mining suits on hand unless they are currently working. Okay, they're not being paid. They're clearly a slave race. As they are forced to work. And it's easy to assume that they are in fact a slave race based off the fact that they're used as based off the fact that they are used for manual labor. They have beds, pillow, no blanket. They communicate through picture. And none of these suits are equipped to go to battle with. And this isn't just a bar for them, this is a bar for anyone who would come here. It is safe to assume, because of what happened with the Goblin Scourge that Inara was created for and Grover had to come help fight, that they were treated poorly afterwards, and that's how they became a slave race. Because everyone wants to avoid this again and are trying to recreate and are trying to keep them down long enough and make them less intelligent so they can never truly rise up. Of course, the fact that anyone's letting them draw their language out can also be an example of why they aren't slaves. Especially with pictures like this. Of course, there's also a ton of evidence now by looking around.
30 seconds remaining. Enemy killing spree. Fifteen seconds remaining. 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Defeat.
No! What?
Let the battle begin.